upcoming public speaker and leader within higher education. During his daily, he works as an employer engagement consultant at George Mason University Career Services. Philip is a sought-after motivational speaker, facilitator, seminar leader, trainer, and podcast creator. He hosts a podcast called Positive Filter, which focuses on well-being and career development. He is currently pursuing a PhD in communication at George Mason. Philip has given speeches to, coached students, facilitated or trained hundreds of thousands of people, and aims to inspire millions. I present to you speaker, trainer, coach, colleague, friend, and mentor, Philip Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, a little nervous. How many of y'all have heard of Moana or watched that movie Moana? All right. Well, the cops, maybe they heard about it too, right? So watching Moana, I've probably seen it 1,000 times. I have 2 young children during the pandemic. I think that was on repeat. And so I guess, that's God's calling to say I need to wrap it up. But so I watched that movie multiple times, but the connection.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Wildcats, everyone should now be with a club. You should also be with your coaches if you're playing a sport. And if you're with a club, please make sure that you get a pass from your sponsor before you exit the classroom so you can get on the bus and go home if you are catching the bus. Also, if you are not with a club or with a sport, please make sure that you find a ride home. Call home right now because you will not be receiving a pass.
All right, well, that's a first, right? I mean, trying to do a speech and then whole thing. So hopefully y'all got rides because I want to make sure I'll get home on time. So watching Moana, right? And it's based in reality. So a lot of people don't know that in Polynesian culture, there were island hoppers or people, journeyman wayfinders, as they call them, right? And they would actually go thousands and thousands of miles from island to island to island. This is actually based in reality. This is a real thing. And so I was thinking about this, and I heard a story the other day that connected this, right? And so there was a student, and there was a teacher. And this student, similar to the main character Moana, was ready to go out on a journey at sea. Multiple times, was practicing. And so she would go out further past her island, she would spear fish, she would look at stars, she would learn maritime techniques, and would get ready for this long journey to sea. And then she would go to her teacher, and she would say, "Hey, teacher, I'm ready. You see me getting ready. You see me prepare for this journey on life that I'm about to take. I'm ready to go out there." And the teacher, no other questions, would say to this student, "Where's Tahiti?" And the student would say, "I've never been there before. Why would you ask me? I've never been to Tahiti before." So the teacher said to that student, "Clearly you're not ready. Keep practicing," right? How many times have we said we're ready for something, we practice, we put a lot of work, and someone has doubted that we're ready, right? That's pretty frustrating, I would assume, right? And then come back, practicing, probably doing what we normally do, grumble to ourselves. This person does not know what I'm doing, all the work I'm putting in. Goes back to that teacher one more time. "You see me working hard. You see me getting ready for this journey. You have to believe in me. I'm ready to go." And the teacher looks at her very stoically again. "Okay, tell me where Tahiti is." "I don't know. I'm not ready." "Well, you need to keep on practicing. I don't think that you're ready right now." Going back out one more time, doing it, getting better, getting ready, getting prepared for this journey. Comes back one more time and says to that teacher, right, "I'm ready. I've been training. I've been preparing. I've even dreamed about this." Dream. Aha. So you're dreaming about this. Tell me where Tahiti is. "It's in my mind." Finally, the teacher says, "You're ready to go." So what is that random story saying, right? That random story. Well, it's showing that the power, before we go on lots of journeys, before we do things that are very hard, very difficult, things that scare us, things that excite us, we have to have somewhat of a vision or destination in mind, right? How many times have you done something where does it feel different when you prepare for something and you're going to have a positive outcome? Any show of hands, right? No one? No one's thinking of something like, y'all like to go into situations where you think you're gonna get set up? How many times have we said, okay, I'm gonna practice, I'm gonna win? Like, you go into a game with a mindset, we're gonna win this game, right? Or we're gonna have this goal achieved, right? Or I'm gonna go into this test that I studied for and I'm gonna pass, right? The mindset shifts when you know that there's gonna be a successful outcome. Whether you get that outcome or not, whether you win or lose or don't do as well on the test, at least having the vision that you're gonna do well gives you a little bit of confidence, gives you a little bit of juice in that moment, right? So I'm gonna share with you a little bit story of my Tahiti, right? And how we can connect that. So I remember when I graduated with my master's at George Mason, I was sitting at the arena, the convocation arena, and I looked at the stage and I said, one day I will be the speaker on stage. I will be the convocation speaker. And thinking about that, I was like, wow, what do you have to do? And so in my thought process of preparing for that, I thought, what does a person that needs to be up there, what makes someone a qualified, prepared convocation speaker? Well, one, they have to be accomplished. Two, they cannot be nervous in front of audiences big and small, right? How would that be if I'm in front of an audience big and small? Are you okay? Yeah, okay, make sure you're okay. Some water. All right. All right. So, you're good? Yeah. Okay, cool. Just let me. When you do that, making sure that I'm prepared for that journey ahead, right? And so I like to think of that when you set vision for yourself and goals, that you need to have at least three things in mind. One, you need to be okay with looking at the past, right? And doing everything okay. Two, you need to be okay with living in the present. And then three, we have to be focused on looking at the future, right? So in regards to that, looking at the past, one thing I'm thinking about is similar to that story about Moana and that journey, right? Looking at the past, think about how many times have you done something, and I would like to say, like, while you're unique in your DNA, while there's no other makeup, the things that you want to do have been done before in some form or fashion, right? And so when I thought about that same story about my journey of being a public speaker and getting in front of people, I had to say, okay, who has taken this journey before me? Who's been a public speaker before? And look for their advice, right? A mentor, someone to look out for me, someone I study. I watch the videos of people that are comfortable being in front of people on stage, right? I watch TED Talks. I do a lot of studying, right? And sometimes in your life, I want to challenge you to have some kind of goal, is to do the first part, is looking at the past, is who's someone that has done it before you in some form or fashion, right? Like, not every person is the first, if you think about it. Maybe they're the first in some variation, but someone has done it before, right? Like Jay-Z is not the first rapper, right? I always say that. Or an author that you like J.K. Rowling is not the first fiction writer, right? Someone has done something that has been done before. Whether it's a variation, they maybe created a new project or something new that has been done before. So step one is to really look and learn from the past, whether you can connect with that person in real life or someone that is far away, right? So if it's someone in your real life, like a public speaker, I reached out to people that were in my sphere of influence that has done it before, but also I've looked at people in the past that I have no connection to directly, like people that are public speakers and people that do TED Talks, right? Now, living in the present, that's kind of going back to the mindset of resilience and gratitude, right? How many people have heard the phrase, trust the process or enjoy the journey, right? Well, yeah, so if you have a vision of something that you want to do, right? If you don't like what you're doing in that present moment or don't feel like wow or gratitude in that process, it's not going to be fun, right? So in my journey, I'm enjoying this right now. This is kind of a really unique experience. I got fire alarms going off. I got things going on. I'm nervous, right? But I'm enjoying this. I have a story. You're part of my journey right now. I'm enjoying the process, right? And I'm showing grit and resilience because the things that you want to do, that story to me being a convocation speaker is not going to happen overnight, right? It's going to be a long process. It might happen tomorrow, but it might happen 5 years from now. So day to day, I try to use two things to keep me motivated, right? One thing to keep me motivated is being grateful for each part of that process that I'm participating in. Like right now, I'm full of gratitude for the opportunity to talk to y'all today. So you're part of my journey, right? And I'm also understanding with all the trials and tribulations that I'm going to fail, right? Failure is inevitable. Storms, it's going back to that story about Moana and the sea and having a destination of Tahiti. She's going to experience failures and storms, but she's enjoying the process. She's getting better, right? She's going toward a destination that keeps her like lit up, right? And so that's the three things. So with looking at the past, learn from people, connect with mentors, learn, study the best in the present, be grit, have grit, have resilience, be excited, have fun even in failure. It's not that serious. What's the worst? Y'all can look at me right now and boo me. I probably won't see half of y'all again. I'm good, right? So that process right now, I'm enjoying it. I'm lighting up. You see, as I speak more and more, this is fun for me, right? And then the last part of that is focusing on the future, right? Is having faith. Faith in the belief that what I'm doing is going to come true, right? Sometimes you have to have an unwavering faith that the things that you're doing is leading toward that outcome that you want, right? And so with that being said, that faith in that outcome, this may not happen. I may never, ever, ever talk on a stage or be at convocation. But in that belief that I'm going to get there one day, the faith that I'm going to get there that day, that feeling in my stomach, that vision in my head, the picturing of it, that as long as I'm going forward, I'm better than when I started, one. And it's just unwavering. No one can tell me that one day it's not going to happen, whether it happens or not. I have a faith and a belief and a purpose. Now, one part that I would say, as you have this faith, belief, and purpose for something that you're trying to do in the future, think about this too. What thing or way can this faith and vision that I want to have come true be helpful to someone else? Because that also gives me purpose, right? So in this very egocentric, individualized goal that I have for being a speaker, I have these opportunities like, well, at least during this time, maybe I'll influence or help at least one person along the way. Maybe when I do these talks, regardless of who pays attention to me and not, at least one life is changed. That keeps me motivated. Or additionally, maybe if I do actually get to that destination, who can I bring up behind me? Someone down the line is going to probably ask me for advice. So in that pursuit, in that faith that I'm going to get further and further and further along, I'm getting better, but I'm also helping people along the way. That gives me purpose in that. I joked the other day, but one time I was like this close to that dream of being on the stage because about last summer in May, I was doing a little bit like a mini speech for graduation, like a little welcome toast to a room like this. And it was in the basement in a room right next to the main Eagle Bank Arena stage. And I literally was across the hallway from my dream. I was like, I literally am that close to my dream. And so it was that unwavering faith, like, I got this close. I'm gonna get there one day, right? And people came up to me afterwards and motivated me and make me really feel encouraged. And I also want to say this, there's going to be people that are going to doubt you or make you feel silly for having ambitious dreams or ambitious goals. But one thing I just thought of, I don't know, I kind of just make up things, right? But one thing I thought of is the loudest critics are the quietest dreamers. Let me repeat that. The loudest critics, the people that have the most critique, that speak loudly, are the quietest dreamers. I mean, it's really easy to hate on the sideline, or it's really easy to hate when you don't even try yourself, right? I remember many times when someone gives me critiques, I'll say, okay, that's great. How about how was the time when you spoke on stage? And they're like, I never did it before. So then why are you giving me advice? I mean, not that sharp, but think about that, right? Think about the critics. Where are they coming from? Because a lot of people, particularly y'all young people, have these critics that can hide behind a computer screen, or, they can say what they want on social media or whatnot, but they're not doing it. It's easy to hate on the sidelines. So I want you to repeat that. When you have things that you're really, really ambitious and you're really lit up and you really feel like you can do it and you're proud of yourself, and you get people that have some negative criticism, really be mindful of that audience and who they really are and what point or vantage point they're coming from. Because as I said earlier, a lot of times the people that are the loudest are the quietest, right? And so I just want to wrap up with this last bit of things. I'm a member of a historically black fraternity. Philip said, like, how often do you, like, it's like a vegan, right? Or someone that does CrossFit, like, it's going to come out somewhere in a speech, and I always do it. But I'm a member of a historically black fraternity called Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which we just celebrated our 117th anniversary. Which really lights me up is the person that's on your program is one of my brothers, Brother E.B. DuBois. He is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. So I have that direct connection to history and legacy, right? And so I'm really excited. So you can Google that, look that up. He was also the founder of the NAACP, or one of the founders. So living history. Think about that. How many people, I'm just curious, how many people looked up when they said you're invited to the W.E.B. Du Bois Honor Society? How many people looked them up just to say what that was named after, right? Doesn't that kind of, you know, for those that read it, doesn't it light you up that you're a part of something that's connected? I always do that. When I win a scholarship or get an award or anything that has someone's name on it, I read up that person because I'm like, wow, I'm connected to that person's legacy. You know, I got a scholarship for this person, John Doe. I look up John Doe and I say, wow, I got something that's honoring John Doe. Maybe one day I'll have a scholarship or an honor society in my name. But the key point is, being connected to that, brother, is really, really awesome, right? You're connected to someone. When you say, oh, when they hear the words W.E.B. Du Bois, like, yeah, I was a member of an honor society after him, named after him. You're connected to that, right? And so one thing I would say is, that I like to end off, is that within the Black Greek community, poems and words really matter. How many people have heard of the poem Invictus? Have anyone heard of that, Invictus, or the movie? Okay. Well, Invictus was written by Sir William Ernest Henley, right? And what people don't know, coming back to that water thing, is that he literally was like, he had probably the worst life ever, the most terrible life. His legs, he had gangrene of his legs. I think he couldn't walk. He just had a terrible life. But he wrote one of the most resilient, powerful poems about resiliency called Invictus, right? And thinking about that, I think he wrote those words to really keep him in a right mindset, because his life was really awful, right? And losing his legs, look that up too. And so I'm gonna say Invictus, because within the Black Greek community, for those that will actually pursue a frat or sorority that's connected to historically black people, we use poems to really get us motivated while we're going what we call the process or pledging, right? And one of those poems that go across all organizations is Invictus. So I'm gonna say it for you right now. So Invictus by Sir William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but I'm bowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror to shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So I want you to charge you as you go on your journey in life. I want you to look and be the captains of your soul. Don't let anyone make you unwavering of your ambitions. Don't let anyone make you feel like you can doubt yourself. Take this moment, look at that card. When you think that you're going to have an opportunity that's coming up and you're really lit about it, look at that card, say, I'm a member of the W.E.B. Du Bois Honor Society. I made it this far. Things can't stop me. I'm going to continue whatever dreams and ambitions you have. If you want someone to be a supporter, always feel free to reach out to me. I love supporting people with scary dreams. Please stay in touch. I want to say congratulations to every single one of you in this room. While you might think it's just getting good grades, you've joined something. Now you have a connection or network to everyone else in this room. You're a part of something bigger than yourself. And maybe also additionally, you'll take leadership and use this as a way for you to be a leader in your community, in your Centreville community. So I charge you, be the captains of your soul. Continue on. Be resilient. Be grateful. Be optimistic. Be hopeful. Be excited. Also be engaged. But I want to thank you for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Take care and have a good day.